Hello! Welcome to our series about the trust models in play when using eDelivery. This is the first episode of our series. Here we introduce the key concepts, both general and particular to eDelivery, when addressing the topic of trust in communication. We start by looking at the answer for the question of why do we need to speak about trust at all when dealing with communication. When exchanging messages, the parties would be interested to know who are they communicating with. This refers to the question of who am I speaking to? Then how can they be sure they are really communicating with the party they think they are? This is the question of how can I be sure they really are who they claim to be? And if they want communication to be protected and private, do they have any means to ensure that this is the case? These are the main questions we need to ask when dealing with trust in communication. To understand how to address them, let's review some familiar concepts involved in everyday communication. Identity, or claimed identity, is the identity that someone claims they have. Identity is a label or a set of attributes that is given to that someone in some specific context. For example, at birth, a person is given a name by the family and is also assigned a personal number in the population register of the country of birth. Claimed identity is, in short, the identity some party claims in some context. An example is the formula to introduce oneself. Hello, I'm Bob. Trust of identity is the degree of confidence someone has that the identity claimed by some other party is real. In other words, trust of identity is the trust that the claiming party was indeed attributed the claimed identity in the relevant context. The next concept, proof of identity, is closely linked to the trust of identity. It represents the means someone has to prove that the identity they claim is real. Some real-life examples of identity proofs are a photo ID in the physical world or a digitally signed document or digitally signed challenge in the digital world. The last concept is the trust in communication channel. This is trusting that the communication between the parties is confidential and intact. An example from day-to-day life is discussing with someone by meeting in person in a place where you cannot be overheard. This gives both parties the confidence that the discussion is private and reliable. In the digital world, encryption guarantees confidentiality and electronic signatures guarantee that the content of the communication cannot be tampered with. Together, the two provide a trusted communication channel. Next, we move to discuss how some of the concepts presented so far can be transposed from day-to-day life to the digital world, in particular in the eDelivery context. Identity becomes digital identity. It is the identity of a component or of a software system. In eDelivery, the identity of a party refers to a system that participates in a network. The identity is attributed to the system by the owner of the eDelivery network following the network governance rules. Each party involved in a message exchange will not only have a digital identity, but also a role in digital communication. Understanding these roles is important before moving to the communication flows. eDelivery defines several roles. Let's cover here the most important ones. On the sender side, we first have the message producer. It is the system creating the message to be sent. Examples could be an accounting system producing invoices, or a business register sending out a document it contains. Then we have the sender access point, a role introduced by eDelivery and AS4. It is the software module in charge of actually sending out the message, ensuring the reliability and security of the transmission. On the receiver side, we have a symmetrical situation. Here we have the message consumer, the business system that will process the transmitted message. Examples are a general practitioner's IT system receiving a patient's lab result, or an insurance company system receiving a reimbursement claim. The receipt of the message is ensured by the receiver access point. Just like the sender access point, this role is also introduced by eDelivery and AS4. It is the software module responsible for receiving the message securely and confirming the receipt to the sender. Thanks for watching and come back for the next episode.